let's start off by talking about my Make 9 for 2023. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tequila B with TruLuv Designz. And did I say it is so great to be back here on the channel with you guys? I have missed you guys so much. So much. And I'm glad to be back. So let me jump right in and just say thank you for the birthday wishes from everyone. My husband and I had a great time. I was down and sick for a little bit, but I am back and in full swing and I'm ready to get this thing going. What I decided to do for my Make 9 2023 was be more intentional with the fabrics that I chose. Basically things that I can wear to work, that I can wear out, that I can make good use of in any season. Things I can use right now. Let's see, things that are going to build my skills. And I don't know, just very intentional. This first pattern I'm going to talk about is a men's pattern. And let me tell you why. So my husband saw this nice turtleneck online, some store he was shopping, and it was outrageously priced. So we did go looking for a white sweater in the stores, but couldn't find anything quite like it. And I said, you know what, I should be able to find a pattern and just make that for you. So of course he said, no rush, just whenever. We went into the store and I found some fabric that I wanted to use. And he said it wasn't a rush, but then he was like, well, when am I going to get my sweater? Is it going to be next year? Am I going to be able to use it this year? And I'm like, you trying to be funny? What's that about? Anywho, I did tell him he would get to wear it this season. So luckily I found this pattern because, guys, I was having a hard time finding a men's turtleneck pattern. So I looked up on this pattern and it is by, I hope I'm saying the name right, by Seda Zoel. And it's this men's turtleneck pattern here. It is a PDF pattern. It looks pretty easy, not much to it, kind of similar to the turtleneck that I made for myself. Because my next thing was going to be just getting a shirt or a long sleeve shirt that he has and just tracing that off and using that as my pattern. But luckily I found that I am going to use a test fabric first because I do not want to mess up the sweater fabric that I purchased for him. So that will be one of the patterns on my Make 9. The next one is a lounge gown by George and Ginger Pattern Company. And when I saw this thing, I was like, oh, this is so cute. Not only could you possibly turn this into a dress and wear it out, but this is this is comfortable and sexy and simple to me. And the length is like perfect. So I know I'm going to make at least 2 of these. Next pattern is a 1950s vintage pattern. And I don't know if I've really mentioned how much I like vintage things on this channel, but I am into the vintage fashion. Excuse me. So this first one is Simplicity 8645, and it is a Mrs. Vintage Tops. And I feel like this would be a great way for me to break into getting the fit and bodice sizing right before I jump into anything bigger. I do have another vintage dress that I am looking at, but I'm going to take the plunge with this pattern first, Simplicity 8645. I'm going to dive into vintage, so don't be surprised if you see more vintage things here on the channel. Simplicity S8655. It's a Mimi G style pattern. This is going back on the list. This was on my 22 list, but I am going to put it also on my 2023 list because I really want to make this top. I also want to make the jeans. They do have an invisible zipper, and I've done them before. So it shouldn't be too hard, but I just, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess it up, but I'm okay with messing up because that's how we learn. That's how we get better. So I'm okay with that. The next pattern is the adult Arlo. It is a vintage inspired crew neck, mock neck, or turtleneck crop top and dress. Turtleneck. I love things with a turtleneck. And I am here for the turtleneck dresses, okay? This pattern is by Petite Stitchery. And here is the front view of that pattern. And here's the back view and the possible options and variations. And you can look to see this one pretty soon because I love a nice turtleneck dress. This one is also from the 2022 list, Simplicity 8513. I already have my pattern pieces in the tissue paper cut out, and I'm going to get started on this. And yes, this is on my 2023 list because I didn't get to fulfill it last year, and it is definitely something that I need and I feel is essential to my wardrobe. So this is going back on the list for 2023. Also from 2022 is Simplicity 1538. This is a pattern that is next up in my Sewed Academy courses, and I do plan to accomplish this top. It does have buttons, so I've given myself a goal of April 30th to at least have the buttons and buttonholes on that pattern. I am going to start it, and so I may not do the buttons and buttonholes right away, but as long as I get them on there by April 30th and I get that skill under my belt, I will be completely okay. And I'm sorry, guys. I saw something. I thought it was a spider web. I don't do spiders and spider webs. It was just a piece of lint. Thank God, because I was going to have to call the cavalry in. Next pattern is Simplicity So Simple A8495, also from last year's Make 9 list. I love this coat, and when I saw it, it just seemed so simple. Some nice fleece fabric, and it has one button. Okay, so hopefully I will accomplish my button skills way before April 30th because I would like to get some use of this coat before this winter season is over. And I do have this fabric that I want to use for that. And this fabric came from Fabric Wholesale Direct. I received it in a mystery box, and I was pretty pleased because there's probably about 3 yards of this fleece fabric here. And I was shocked to receive so much of it. So I am going to use this for that. And this is the fabric that I'm going to use for that Simplicity 1538 pattern. I don't have a polka dot top, and I really do want one. So I believe I'm going to use this here. I'm sorry. It's upside down. But there it is for you. On my Make 9 2023 list is this lovely pattern from Ellie Mac. It is the Oversized Tee Pattern. And I've had this pattern cut out for about well over a year, I know. And it's finally time to make it. I love how it can be worn kind of slouchy and off the shoulder. It also has a variation for a drawstring bottom. You can put a hood on it. It can be cropped, whatever. It has plenty of variations on that pattern, and I'm very excited to make it. I made some joggers, and you may have seen that in my last video of 2022. And I had a little bit of fabric left over from that. I think it's enough to make the top. I want to do the crop with the hood, the drawstring bottom. So I think that's what I'm going to make to pair with those pants that I've made, those joggers, I'm sorry. And I think it's going to be great. So stick around to see, how my Make 9 2023 comes along. And until next time, see it, make it, slay it.